Yo, what's going on, YouTube? Back here again. My bad, I haven't been posting much lately. I've been so caught up with school and all that stuff, and I finally graduated, so now I got more time to do a little bit more videos for you guys. Today we're actually gonna swap over some coilovers from my buddy's 86 300ZX. He got some new Powertrix coilovers that he was running on them, and we actually installed them not too long ago, but turns out he's actually gonna sell them. So I don't know if you guys remember Daryl, but Daryl's one of my homies that got an 86 300ZX, and so before he sells it, I'm gonna go ahead and swap over my old stance coilovers for those Powertrix coilovers. My stance coilovers are pretty old. I've had them for maybe 4 to 5 years. And on top of that, I have a little camber issue on my coils too. To give you a long story short, pretty much I had these stances when I had an 86 300ZX, and pretty much it got into an accident, and there was an issue with the spindles. One of them ended up cracking, so it made a little degree, and so from there I had to re-weld it, and then pretty much it doesn't give the same amount of camber as the other side that didn't break. So I gotta go ahead and try to swap that over. Hopefully they'll fix the camber issue on my car, and I'll show you guys what I'm actually talking about. Just give me a second. Forgot to mention, Daryl was borrowing my battery for my Z, so I gotta take it out, put it in my Z, and then drive that up the driveway. Alright, let's go. Alright, so first step we gotta do is put jack stands, or jack it up, put jack stands underneath, and loosen the front lug nuts for all the wheels in order to get them out. Before I get started on taking out the wheels, I want to show you guys the camber issue that I'm having with my car. Alright, so the passenger side, you can see it's a lot more cambered. Well, you can see that there is camber, more negative camber. And then the driver's side, you can see there's a lot more positive camber. So we're gonna try to fix that issue today. Hopefully I can even out both sides, because pretty much they're both maxed out on each side. So the only thing that I can think of for it having a camber issue is because of the fact that I had one side re-welded. just to show you what I'm working with. Here is the Powertrixes in Daryl's car. Kind of dirty, but it's like brand spanking new. And then we have here my stances that are pretty beat. It's pretty old and whatnot, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off the rotors. You gotta take this little cap off, and then that'll show a screw with a cotter pin. Actually, you have to take off the caliper first. It's two 17mm bolts, I believe, in the back of it. And then that's when you can take out the rotor. And then it should all slide right out. I'll go ahead and show you guys that right now. Yo, correction, it's actually two 19mm bolts in the back of the caliper. Alright, so we finally got the Powertrix coilovers out of Daryl's car. Let me show you guys that right now. There it is. So one of the dampening adjusters might have been loose, so it actually came off right when I took it out. But yeah, no suspension for Daryl for right now, but we're gonna go ahead and start on the other Z and get these stances out. Once they're out, we're gonna match the height of my stances onto these, and then match these Powertrix onto my stances. Alright, so I just got finished taking out both the front coilovers for each car. Let me go ahead and show you guys the stance coils and the Powertrix coils right next to each other. So right here we have the driver's side of each coilover. You can see that I'm riding real low compared to Daryl, but that's the only reason of that is because he doesn't have spacers on his wheels, and he's running the stock wheels right there, when I'm running these 15x10 -23s with spacers on them just to clear. That's why I'm able to run it so low, but Daryl has to ride stock height. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna essentially match this height, match this height onto this one, and then from there on the other side on the passenger side, we're gonna actually match this ride height onto the stances, and then once we have that equaled out, we're gonna match each pair accordingly. I'm definitely gonna put the dampening system back onto the Powertrix coils. You can see that on my stances they don't have any anymore, just for the mere fact that I've had these stances for quite some time. I've driven them through the rain and whatnot. It just got rusted out. So yeah, essentially we're just gonna match it all together. We're gonna put the cambering all the way negative on mine, on the Powertrix, and then for Daryl's we're gonna zero it out, just so he can ride stock height pretty smoothly and whatnot with no hiccups. And then from there we're just gonna put it back on right now, and then we're gonna start doing the rear right after. Hopefully it fixes my camber issue. So I just got done readjusting the coilovers. Pretty much I made them equal to what they were before in our cars. So Daryl's stances are back to stock height. There they are, and then the Powertrix are to where I was sitting at. I actually put one on already. I tightened up from the top already, tightened it from the rear or underneath. It's in there already. I just got to put the rotors on and the wheel on, check for fitment and see how that looks. But I'm gonna go ahead and put on the other side real quick. I might try to see if I can just do one side real fast, just to see where it's sitting at. That way I can make the proper adjustments before fully putting in the other coilover. It's just a lot easier once the coilover is out, just to kind of like twist it to ride height. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now, and then I'll get back to you in a minute. All right. Alright, so after finally putting on the coilovers and everything, I went ahead and put on the wheels. And to be honest, I think it looks cool. It looks real cool. It definitely fixed the camber issue on the driver's side. Now I can tell it's definitely cambered. Looks damn near the same amount of camber as the passenger side, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Here, let me give you guys a quick look real quick. Alright, so here we have the passenger side, and so with that side, that was the one that was already the camber that I wanted. And I know it's poking out a little more than I want to, but that's actually something that I can definitely fix down the road. And then here is the driver's side. The umbrella's in the way, but yeah, it's not as cambered as it was before, or as positive cambered as it was before. Now it's more negative. It kind of matches the passenger side. I want to say it looks exactly the same, to be honest. But yeah, definitely finally fixed that camber issue. I think it looks sick. Definitely could go lower, but I do want to get some possible flares. Ooh, okay. So yeah, I'm just glad I fixed that issue. Now we gotta put Daryl's car back together. We gotta put the stance coils on that in the front, and then we're gonna get started on the rear. Finally, here, let me show you the coils. Here's the rears. So this one is the left side, the driver's side. You can see how beat up my stances were. And then we got here the Powertrix 2, and then this is the right side. You can just see like how used these stances were. I put in some work, and I was drifting a little bit with those, you know. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much do the same thing I did with my fronts to the rears. Yo, so I kind of got carried away and working on my car, but I finally did it. I put everything in, put all the coils back on. Both of these are finally staying on the ground now. Such a long day. It's hard when you do it by yourself. Most of my homies were pretty busy today, so couldn't get them to slide through. But yeah, I'll show you a little glimpse of what it looks like. So the fronts are at a decent level. The rears you can't really tell because of lighting, but there's a lot more wheel gap than I had before. So I'm definitely gonna have to lower that down a bit. I know it's kind of dark, so I'm sorry for the lighting, but Daryl's car, the rear's sitting decently low. Here, let me see if I can get my phone out real quick to show you guys. So yeah, it's sitting decently low for something that was stock height, but the fronts, well, it kind of needs to be this high just for the mere fact that the wheels won't clear. The sucky thing about these cars is pretty much any kind of wheels that you get, you're gonna have to run super negative offsets. Like the highest offset, well, I mean, in my opinion, I think the highest offset you should be running is a 0. If anything else, you should be running a negative offset. Kind of sucks compared to the 240s. I know you can have a wider range of wheels and tires and stuff like that, but with these it's pretty particular. But yeah, I mean, you got to make with what you got. So I think I'm gonna try to end it for this episode. I just got to clean up. It's getting late, it's pretty dark. I need to just freshen up and all that stuff, and so I'm gonna just end this here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.